Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, which is all about the narcissistic personality disorder, to give you more understanding of what you might have been through in your life, those you might still be dealing with in your life, how to do no contact if you can go no contact, how to handle them if you can't, and how to recover from narcissistic abuse. If you are new to the channel and you do like the information, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for the returning subscribers. I hope you're all doing very well. So this video is about why a narcissist just does not seem to care. And we can be locked in that thought of how can they not care? And we can actually try to appeal to their emotions to get them to see that can cause us to think, well, have I been narcissistic? Because I kind of used emotional blackmail in one way when I was trying to get them to see. That's a whole other video. I'll add the link for Am I a Narcissist up there and in the description. There is a difference between the behaviour, which I'll also add up here and in the description. There is a big difference. They appeal to your emotions to manipulate you, to exploit you, to get their own needs met without a care for how that impacts you negatively, how that affects your life. You appeal to their emotions to try and get them to see how they are hurting other people, how their behaviour is impacting their own children, their own parents, their own friends, their own family. So why don't they care? Well, this video is going to be based on their trait of a lack of empathy. To have the ability to empathise is to have the ability to care for other people. Narcissists have the ability to gaslight us into believing that they care. That whole belief things that keeps us trapped. I'll have the video as well in the description about beliefs. But they have the ability to lead us into believing that they care about us with their twisted gaslighting words of, if you hadn't. So we think it's because of something that we did why they are no longer caring for us, or you brought it on yourself. So it makes us question who we are as a person rather than their behaviour. Narcissists often gain their control, their dominance over people through either love or fear. So yes, they do tend to go for people based on what that other person has, the qualities of that person. You don't attract what you are. Sometimes you attract what you have. And when it comes to a narcissistic person that wants to exploit people, someone with empathy is someone that they want because they know that they can appeal to their emotions. They know that they can use their emotions against them. They know that they can emotionally blackmail people. They know that they can make people fear them and conform to their demands. They know they can make people feel obligated to them. So that they'll do something which in one way makes us believe that they care, makes us believe that they will be there for us. They will do something and then they will use that later on down the line to make us feel obligated in doing something for them. They will also guilt trip us. They will use our empathy against us. They will guilt trip us with things like bringing up their past, something that's happened in their past, or something that an ex did for them, or something that an ex didn't do for them. For their fault, it's always someone else's fault. They will guilt trip on, if you're thinking of leaving the relationship, what about the children? To make you feel guilty, to make you feel bad, so that you don't make a decision that goes against what they believe they are entitled to. Empathy is the ability that humans have to be able to connect and relate to other people, to be able to understand how someone else might be feeling, to be able to understand someone else's hopes, someone else's dreams, someone else's sadness, someone else's joy. To be able to connect with someone and understand what that person is going through no matter how long that person is going through it, and to be able to try and find ways to help somebody through something. So there is cognitive empathy, where you can have the perception of how someone might be feeling. You can pick up on vibes and think about how somebody else might be feeling at that moment in time. Although we all make errors in judgment, like narcissistic people do, and we can make errors in judgment with narcissistic people. We can believe that they genuinely care, and they will lead us to believe that they genuinely care. They will gaslight us to believe that they genuinely care about us. So we can make errors in judgment. A narcissist will never admit to that. That will always be somebody else's fault. And when the narcissist is putting the grand act on, when they are future faking, when they are mirroring, when they are showering you with attention, it's very, very easy to believe they are the person that they are selling themselves to be, and not the person that they will further down the line show themselves to be. So when we move the relationship along, when we hit that pain part of the relationship, we look back at the past and we believe that no, that's who they are. We can get that back. And with their gaslighting, we get drawn into it, not realising that no, that pain is telling us this person isn't for us, this relationship isn't for us, and we need to step away from them, because they don't have the empathy to truly care about us. They only care about getting their needs met. Cognitive empathy helps us try and negotiate with people, which is when narcissistic people twist it and use it to their advantage. They can see how people can be feeling, even though they cannot relate to how they're feeling. They can use that against that person to exploit, to meet the narcissist's needs. If they've pushed us too far, if they're not getting their own way, they can offer that false apology to look like they care. The whole, if only you, I know, I'm sorry, but. So it's that I'm sorry you, I'm sorry but, in whatever format they phrase it, if you're lucky enough to get an apology from them. But they can recognise the need to apologise. They just don't feel or believe in the reason of why they should apologise. They just see it as, if they say, I am sorry you will forgive them, and then they can do what they want to get their needs met. Then we have emotional empathy. So we can feel how someone else is feeling. If you start watching something on TV and someone's going through a traumatic event, it can make you cry. It can make you hurt. It can make you turn away because of the pain that you are feeling. So that emotional empathy, where we connect on a emotional level to how someone else is feeling in that moment in time, which makes us take a step back, which makes us take a breath, which makes us try and think of how we can help them. How would we know how we would feel, because we are feeling it even though it's not happening to us. So what can we do to help that person? Narcissists tend to be lacking in this emotional empathy. So when they cause somebody pain, and that person can be sat there crying, absolutely devastated by the pain the narcissist has caused, and they will sit there almost smug, with the smirk on the face, with the glint in their eye, blaming the person who is heartbroken for being heartbroken, and not looking at their own behaviour. And often then, because they feel superior and they believe they are special, and that person is crushed from whatever the narcissist has done, the narcissist sees it as a win. They see it as a challenge. They see it as a game. They don't care enough to connect emotionally to see how it has affected you. They only see how they can exploit you further, or how it might affect them, why they might need to give a false apology if they've pushed you too far, so that they can get their needs met in the present. Compassionate empathy, which is usually when we can think and feel at the same time how someone else is feeling, and this can be overwhelming at times. Where we have compassionate empathy and can see how we might need to help somebody, might need to help other people, those charitable adverts on TV, when you see the children, and it pulls on your compassion to want to help those. With a narcissist, they use this compassionate empathy to exploit people, to get their own needs met. They can understand in one way how it would make somebody else feel. They just cannot relate to how it makes that person feel. They just see that if I do this, I achieve this. If I do that, I gain that. So they emotionally blackmail, they emotionally manipulate people through the other person's compassion. The narcissist will use someone's compassion against them to meet a need of their own. Which is why they often study you, mirror you, gather that data. When they know the things that mean something to you, they can use that to either sell you that of, oh, one day we shall do this, or you're capable of that. In the beginning, or when they're trying to offer that reinforcement, they can sell you that side of things. Yet when it's not working how they want it to work, they will get your insecurities and they will chip away at each and every one to bring you down, to make you feel that hurt, to make you feel that pain, so that they can control more, and so that they can get away with their behaviour, so they can distract you from what they're doing, so that they can exploit you and get their needs met. This is when one minute, when your dreams that they were so supportive of in the beginning, they'll suddenly put you down and tell you you're not capable, you're not good enough. What makes you think you're so special? What makes you think you can do something like that? In reality, a healthy relationship is based on two people that will try and raise each other up, not one up here trying to drag the other one down constantly. Two people that, even if they can see that something might not work out for them, that they'll be able to give them constructive criticism. They'll be able to try and advise them in a positive way, in a friendly way, in a helpful way, and they'll still want them to achieve it, and they'll try and help them find the best way around it. A narcissist will negatively criticise, and they will put people down, they will invalidate people, they will give people that self-doubt, they will plant the seeds of self-doubt, and then they will help those seeds of self-doubt grow. So why do narcissistic people not seem to care? Because they don't care. When they're acting, when they put on that grand act, the grandiosity that they care is to exploit people to meet a need of their own. When they are walking away from you when you needed them the most, that is who they are. All the other stuff is just manipulation and lies to distract you from who they truly are, so they can get whatever they need from you met within themselves. The best way to handle people that do not care about you is leave them to it. If you can go no contact, if you can let them go and live their life while you go and live your life, leave them to it. Go no contact. Not always possible. So if you can't go no contact, it's a case of recognising that their behaviour is on them. Don't internalise what they say and what they do. Don't internalise what they say about you. That is on them, not you. Don't give them too much information about you. Don't say too many things about you that they can chip away at, especially if you're not quite at that place where your beliefs aren't that true to yourself yet. Working on your beliefs, working on your boundaries, working on your values, working on behaviour you will and will not accept from other people. Knowing when they're coming at you, that is on them. Trying to recognise what need of theirs they are trying to meet by trying to bring you down. What need of theirs they're trying to meet by making you feel guilty. So with a narcissist, it's always a case of there's got to be something in it for them. And the best way to play is by stepping away, no longer playing their games, leaving them to it. In the early stages, they know how to provoke emotional responses. Best to retreat, step away from the situation, observe it as what's actually truly happening, seeing whether they're triangulating, gaslighting, projecting, sulking, seeing whatever manipulation method that they are using, recognising it. So retreat, stand back, see what's happening, rethink, see what they are doing, what they are trying to achieve, and then only respond if you absolutely have to do so. And what I mean by when you absolutely have to do so, when it's about childcare arrangements, that's when you have to respond to them, when you have to try and reach a compromise with someone who does not compromise. But that is when you will have to respond, and that is the only time when you have to respond. All the times, do not give them a response. Do not give them the reaction. That is usually what they are going for. When they say narcissists like good attention or bad attention, in one aspect, yes, that's true. Attention is attention to them. Narcissists do not like negative press. They do not like not getting any attention. So the best thing you can do is step away from their games, leave them to play, because with their games they'll be showing you one thing with one hand and they'll be playing something else over here that you know nothing about. And we're the ones that feel conned, we're the ones that feel duped when we walk into that trap. So we have to learn to step away from that game, to stop falling for their games, to leave them to be who they want to be while we go and be who we want to be. Be boring around them, be dull around them. So when they're looking for people, they're looking at what they can get from other people. So if they class you as boring, if they class you as dull, they're not going to be looking to exploit you for anything. Don't tell them anything about what you're doing. Don't tell them anything about your achievements, because they'll not want to come back to use you for your achievements. When it comes to narcissistic people, they cannot read us. They gather data on us. They learn about us. We have to learn to become emotionally unpredictable to their provoking behaviour. And what I mean by that is, where they once knew they could use something to get us to act out in anger, to get us to burst into tears, to get us to question who we are, when they come at us with those games again, we have to stand there with a straight face like it's not affected us in the slightest and that they are nothing. Be careful, because some are on a different level, so you really do need to be careful with some. It all depends on the narcissist that you are dealing with. And in the beginning, when you're practicing things like this, when you're trying to learn who you are, learn who they are, move on with your life, and they are coming at you with game after game after game, it is devastating. I've lived through that. It is heartbreaking. Like, why are they doing this? Why would somebody want to do this? And we do have normal emotional reactions to this, and we have to do our best to try and keep it together in front of the narcissist. Wait till the narcissist has gone and then go and let those emotions out. We cannot bury them deep. We need to let them out, and then we need to find something that picks us up, whether that's having a dance around, whether that's doing some meditation, whether that's going for a run, some form of exercise, whether that's calling a friend, whether that's watching a funny movie. That is the thing that you have got to find on what you enjoy, what lifts you back out of that moment. So you can go into that moment of sadness. It's trying to teach you something. Recognise that you don't like that pain, you don't like that sadness. What is it that they've used? What they've done to trigger? What insecurity can you heal so that they can no longer trigger? And recognising those things within ourselves, within who we are, what our emotions are telling us, learning from them, and then shifting our mindset. We have the capabilities to shift our mindset. Our emotions can control our mind, but our mind can control our emotions. So we can recognise that emotion, we can see it for what it is, we can learn what it's trying to tell us, and then we can tell ourselves, I've had 10 minutes, I'm not going to think about that anymore. Or you can write it down, the positives, the negatives. There's lots of different ways to use your emotions, your normal emotions, to work for you. I shall add the courses into the description because they explain a lot more on things like that. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.